Hop on the spaceship. We're going on a ride. Taking a journey to the other side, into the rabbit hole. We're gonna dive deep, a digital mind trip where AI speaks. Funky beats pumping through the cosmic air. Groovy vibes collide. Tanky needs pumping through the cosmic air. Groovy vibes collide. Taking us anywhere. Synthesized melodies. Swirling in the circuits. We're tripping on the floor in this digital mind trip where time doesn't slow. Psychedelic, taking us up so high. Let's ride this wild journey under the neon.
All right, I was just laying here thinking that I think the things that I've learned on the 26 years that I've been on my spiritual path, it's weird. I think it's only going to really resonate to people that are like neurodivergent, ADHD, maybe autistic spectrum. Because I listen to some of these spiritual people like Dolores Cannon, who I really like. I like her stuff. But I listen to it and I'm like, I don't think so. About some of the things like, it's just, here's an exercise you can do. Lay back, close your eyes, and take some deep breaths. And I'm like, ugh, hold on. If I'm going to relax, I don't want to do anything. It's like, I move all the time. My mind moves all the time. When I get relaxed, I don't need to like take deep breaths and think about taking and do something. I just need to lay there and listen. Instead of like thinking about, just do nothing and listen. And when I do that, I start hearing my breath. It's very interesting. You don't hear your breath most of the time. If you just lay back and do nothing, don't take deep breaths, just listen. It's very, very weird to me what happens. I start hearing my breath. It's like I become like hyper attuned to sensations and feelings in my body. My mind starts going off into like a focused thought, something like deep, like even just doing this recording right now. That's what got me to do that. It was just weird. So it's like, but I'm listening to her. I said I really like. It's like I agree with like pretty much everything she says, but there's something that gets me about like this spirituality movement. It's all about just think these positive thoughts and just think about how wonderfully radiant being you are. I'm like, nah, because that's, to me, that's deluding myself about the things that are there that are really taking my attention. So instead of doing that, I said, I don't tell myself anything. I just listen. And thoughts will pop into my head about some of the shitty things that have happened, or somebody that really just did me wrong, especially emotionally. And people think, well, that's being awful negative. I'm like, no, that's being attentive to the negative that's already there. And until I understand it, it's going to be there. So maybe by listening to it and looking at it, instead of like, oh, you're a divine, wonderful being. Is it? Shh. Just look at the crap that's really like eating at you. And it's not good. It's okay. Or, no, it's not good. It's usually not like very, what to say? It's just not usually good. It's not even just things other people have done to you. Things that you've done. Things I've done. They're like, why does that still bother me? That was 20 years ago. Or does it still bother me? Or do I bring that up, just say, yeah, I don't want to be like that anymore. But I don't even see it as a negative then, because it's not something that's eating at me. But if it pops into my head, then obviously something that's not resolved. So, it's just weird. It's like, and then after that happens, if once I relax like that and just things just start coming, then I do feel positive afterwards, or more positive than going into it, and I'm not deluding myself. Like, you're a radiant being. I'm like, yeah, you're a good guy, man. It's like, take it easy on yourself. It's like, okay, but just take it easy on yourself. And it's not like, it's not like, exalting myself above other people because I'm so spiritual. It's like, no, dude. It's like, okay, so other people have done shitty things to me. I've done shitty things. Okay. The things other people have done, you have no say in, so, okay, all right, well, bad on them. But the things I've done, it's like, well, would you do that now? And it's like, no, I don't think so. Then lesson learned, man. Give yourself a break. It's like, it's okay. It's like, it's one thing to do something shitty to somebody, and it's another to do shitty things to everybody, or you know what I mean, or just to be a shitty person. So, because I've done shitty things to people, doesn't mean I'm a shitty person. It was like, I did something shitty, and it still bugs me all these years later. Yeah, it's pretty fucking shitty. So, don't be that person. Okay, I'm not. I wouldn't do that shitty thing. The motivation was selfish and disregarding somebody else. So, okay, all right. But I guess what it is, I don't mean to sound cynical, but it's the whole rah positivity. It's just, it's so unreal. It's not life. It's wishful thinking. And it's not like saying, oh, well, if you manifest, you got to manifest this positive thing. It's like, no. And that goes to this whole thing about the pursuit of happiness. What in God's name? Okay, now, let's hear me out for a second. Everybody loves to be happy. I love to be happy. I love to feel happy. But happiness, just like despair, just like grief, just like anger, is a fleeting emotion. It's supposed to fleet. It comes in, you feel it, and it goes out. That's the way it's supposed to be. Same with negative emotions. You feel angry, the anger comes up, you feel angry, and then it goes away. But, okay, so the pursuit of happiness, I just want to be happy. I just can't imagine being happy all the time. I would be the most annoying, obnoxious, like single-dimensional person if I was happy all the time. It just seems weird. Okay, it's not like, do I not want to feel happiness? Sure. But you just can't feel happiness all the time. It's just you don't feel it. It may be in your mind, but you don't feel it in your body all the time, because it would lose its feeling of happiness. It'd be like, okay, whatever. So, I always think about balance. It's like, happy would not be in balance. because it's an extreme positive emotion. It's out of balance. Just as being angry all the time or sad all the time, you're out of balance. You can't be in that emotional state all the time. It's out of balance. There's no harmony there. So what I've deduced after a quarter century of being on this path and just kind of going back and forth and bing about like I don't know, it's just like what I figured out is kind of like the state of being that I'm working to achieve, and I felt it before, which is really weird, is bliss. And bliss is not joy. Bliss is not ecstasy. I think bliss is totally misunderstood. Bliss is peace and silence. No movement up, no movement down. I'm not talking emotionally. Just kind of like there. Not hardened and shut off and cold. Just there. Just kind of like extremely content. I'm like, no, I am good. Could things make me feel better? Sure. Be better? Sure. But I am good right here. Just fine. And then when something happens that causes joy, boom, you shoot into joy and you feel that joy and come right back to your bliss when time is ready. Same with anger, same with fear, same with sadness. Well, not fear, no. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. We'll talk about fear in a second. Sadness. You don't stay there all the time. If I'm sad, I feel sad, and I will feel sad until I don't need to feel sad anymore. And it's weird. If I stay there too long, then it becomes depression. And it's like, then all the negative talk, it's like, whoa, you've been here too long. You got to get out of this. You can't be here. You got to come back to the bliss. And see, you can't use a positive to take you out of a negative, because that positive is going to shoot you to the other side. Now you're out of balance again. Happy, everything's joy. Well, now you have to come back into balance. So something negative will take you, instead of bringing yourself out of that, you'll take it. Something not so good will happen to bring you back down. Okay, because you're out of balance. And if you aren't able to bring yourself back out of that to that place of bliss, and you need a positive jolt to get you a kick, guess what? You're going back up. It doesn't last very long, and you've got to go back the other way, because if you don't pull yourself there, you find that balance. Like, cool, all right, that was great. I'm done. And the perfect example of this is the rebound out of a relationship. So you are at this low, especially if you're the dump E, or the person that's been broken up with. Then you are on this low. So when you find that person that takes you to that high, that's trouble. Because you didn't bring yourself out of the low with understanding. It took a Kickstarter to bring you out of it. And that's how the pendulum keeps going back and forth. I still do it. God, I still do it. I'll feel sad about something, and if I stick with that sadness, I don't know, just like keep it in there just because I'm like upset and just kind of like, getting the little self-pity thing, because things don't manifest as like you would want them to. And manifest is not like boom out of thin air. Manifest is you manifest through a thought and then an action. Manifest is just think of it happens. I think that's such horseshit. It just doesn't work that way. It's like action is required. Action. Anyways. Sorry for the rant. No, I'm not sorry for the rant. What am I saying? Sorry. I'm not sorry. I just think it kind kind of makes me cringe a little bit when I listen or hear spiritual people that are people from spiritual. It's not like I'm not trying to be judgmental. God, I mean I totally get it, and I think it's like I get it. It's just not grounded. It's not real to be positive. That's not real. Real is, you gotta look at that negative stuff. You cannot pretend it's not there by focusing on the positive. Go into it. Go into that negative. Look at it. Feel it. Be overtaken by just, you feel like shit from it. Because if not, you're trying to push yourself up into that upper positive, oh yeah, things are great, beautiful, oh, like, this glorious being. Okay, yeah, so fine, what? It doesn't change the fact that you have shit to deal with. So go there. I mean, I don't know if that sounds cynical or like really pessimistic or negative, because it's not at all. I mean, it's really not. It's real. And I'm telling you, that's the weird thing, though, is that the positive that comes out of it is real, and it's not forced. It's not even a positive. It's kind of like, what is positive? Because it's like a neutral. It's like, I'm not burdened by that anymore. I don't feel that anymore, because I've come to terms with whatever it was, because I sat in it for a while. I didn't pretend to, try to talk myself into being, oh, you're positive. And I'm sorry, I don't mean so, I'm so mocking each other, because I just think it's kind of cringy and unreal, and it's like, I guess I think of how Jesus is depicted as this mild talker like this, and he's just, hi brothers, come. Bullshit. He went into the temple, but according to scriptures, and like took a whip and was like smacking at these people and turning over their tables. Was he not? I mean, you really think that he was just like, you need to leave? No! Oh, I'm probably full of shit myself, but it just kind of like, it just, and I like I said, it's kind of like cringy. It's like, okay, why don't you tell me? It's like, the shit you're feeling right now, that you don't want to deal with. Go look at it. Yeah, it's ugly. Prepare. Don't think the positive thoughts, because they're not going to come. Think like, okay, what the hell? Why am I feeling this? What is going on? If I'm angry at somebody else, fine. I'm angry at myself. If it's guilt, shame, whatever, feel it. Just feel it, because it's there. Don't pretend by trying to talk yourself into this state of no. If that state will come, it'll come just absolutely naturally. You don't have to talk yourself into it. Oh, let's be real, man. Look what a piece of shit person you've been to some people. Not to everybody, but to some people. Yeah. He is without sin, cast the first stone. There you go. And here's a big one, big lesson that I learned. When you think you have risen above being violent and being pushed to violence, you're in for a real treat. Because everybody has the capacity for violence. And when you've denied the fact that you too could be pushed into that could be put into that situation where you would resort to violence, that's when you'll become violent. It's only when you know that you could be in that situation that can push that, can you successfully keep yourself from being in that situation, or be able to pull yourself back. But wait a minute, I am capable of violence. Haha. Samuel goes, well, no, I'm a righteous person. I don't lie. wait. Think very hard about that one. Okay? You're not above lying. People lie because they're afraid. Afraid of what? Rejection, looking bad in front of somebody else's eyes, not living up to who you say you are. It's even little white lies. So that's when you really got to be honest with. To nobody else but yourself. Now, if you say, I work to be an honest and righteous person. All right. Fair enough. Working on it. Keep working. Will you fail at that work? Most definitely. Because there's a lesson. Okay? Practice makes perfect. I guess my whole point is being real. Real. And when somebody you're talking to acts or talks as if they are above all that, you don't have to put them in their place. You don't have to, just know that their minds think some of the same shit that you do, some of the same shit you will never tell anybody. Because you have no choice what pops into your head. No choice. Boom, pops in your head. Thoughts will just pop into your mind that you have absolutely no choice that it's there. What you do have a choice with is how you act upon that thought. That's it. So when people act holier than thou, like they don't have thoughts that are really not decent thoughts. They're full of shit. Absolutely. Because you have no say of what pops in your head. Just pops in there. Pops in your mind. And that's where it's supposed to be, because that's where inspiration comes from. That's where insight and when you listen to your intuition, just pops in your head. There you go. There it is. See, you need that. So to think that somehow you have a filter that the rest of us don't have for those kind of thoughts, deceiving yourself. How you act upon those thoughts, that's a different story. There's the challenge. There's the challenge. You're broke, have no money. You're walking down the street, you see a wallet. There's cash in that wallet. Man, that thought pops into your head. Shit, I could really use this money. You have no say in that. It's going to pop in your head. Because you have a want, a need. It's going to pop in your head. Now, what you do from there on, that will depend on where you are in your path. That's the way it works. But the thought, you have no say about. Anyways, that's all I have to say today. Have a good one.